Hi, my name is Hugo Rönneskog and I'm a country manager for the Swedish market at Gatsby & White. I'm here to talk about the unshell proposal. So on the 22nd of December in 2021, the European Commission presented a key initiative to further contribute to facilitate for the fight against the misuse of legal entities for improper tax purposes by means of the so-called shell companies. This proposal envisages to serve as an amendment to the already existing suite of directives on administrative corporations, DACs, commonly referred to in the draft form as the unshell proposal. The proposal aims to ensure that holding companies within the European Union that do not meet minimum substance requirements will no longer benefit from any tax advantages. This will additionally put pressure on jurisdictions with a regulatory framework allowing investors to take advantage of such benefits to amend local legislations, ultimately leading to a more even playing field within the European Union. So once adopted by the European Union member states, the directive should come into effect on the 1st of January 2024. The status of these entities is determined by analyzing the two predecessing years, and as a result, in 2022, is already in scope for potential reporting obligations. Now, why are shell companies such a problem? Well, a shell company is a cross-jurisdictional structure with the objective to allowing its shareholders to pay less taxes than what they would normally pay through a legal entity domiciled in the same country where the shareholder resides, or shelter assets from taxes due. Now, such structures unfairly burden the ordinary taxpayer and create an uneven playing field within the European markets. So what determines a shell company? The proposal sets out a list of criteria to identify whether the legal entity should be deemed a shell company or a reporting entity, as it would then be obliged to regularly report its status as a shell company to the relevant tax authorities. As it stands today, the proposal suggests a three-level filtering system considering as a minimum substance requirement where the following criteria must be breached to be deemed a shell company. So the first criteria being income received. Now, if more than 75% of the company's overall revenues in the previous 2 tax years does not derive from the entity's trading activities, or if more than 75% of its assets are composed of real estate or other private property of high value. The second criteria being a cross-jurisdictional setup, being if the company does receive most of its relevant income through transactions linked to another jurisdiction, or passes its relevant income on to another company situated abroad. Now, the third criteria then being level of a company control, which is corporate management and administration services performed are to a large extent outsourced. Now, therefore, in a nutshell, a holding company whose shareholders do not reside in the same country as where the entity is domiciled would potentially be at risk. Now, so what happens if a company is deemed a shell company? If the minimum substance requirements are not met, the proposed directive will consider the legal entity as a shell company, which would entail it losing its tax benefits and being treated as a transparent structure for tax purposes. To facilitate the implementation of these consequences, the European Union member states will be obliged to either deny the shell company a tax residence certificate, or the certificate will specify that the company is in fact a shell company. Moreover, the payments to third countries will not be treated as flowing through the shell entity, but instead subject to local withholding taxes in the source country. So what are the alternatives then? Now, practitioners advising shareholders on holding companies pushing the above thresholds are strongly encouraged to review their current affairs. The alternative of setting up legal entities lacking substance outside of the European Union is widely argued as being an unsustainable solution, as it will most likely trigger mandatory disclosure rules to the local tax administrations and similar anti-abuse rules in place globally, such as controlled foreign company rules, the common reporting standards, and the beneficial ownership registration requirements. Now, taking into consideration past events, one thing is for certain: the world is becoming more transparent and tax authorities are becoming less forgiving. We have witnessed this in numerous times over the past couple of years with the Panama Papers, the Pandora Papers and the Paradise Papers, just to name a few. The widely recognized private placement life insurance, or PPLI solutions, has over the years grown into a solid alternative to corporate structures for ultra-high net worth individuals across the globe. It's making this an ideal cross-jurisdictional planning tool to help the investors protect, preserve and pass on wealth in a compliant manner. With a wide array of benefits, the PPLI solutions provides for an investment flexibility, asset protection, confidentiality and estate planning, as well as, depending on the jurisdiction, tax deferral and reductions.